Bless. I don't sleep on no beef. We ain't sleeping no. You know I'm on top of everything. Run grass and they don't shoot cribs. They gon' give you one chance. Like come outside or we gon' come in, boy. When I pull up and make them catch a lot. Blue beam on that chopper. Kamehameha. I throw them Dragon Balls at you like I'm Kakarot.
Yo, what up, guys? It's your boy SonTj here. Today we're here to talk about power scaling. I know you guys love power scaling when I talk about it, and today I have a guest, PridedWaif. We're going to talk about just overall like how Moro kind of put a wedge into the current power scaling, and just kind of talk about the current chapters and just discussing like what it means for like perfected UI, Beerus, God Destructions, and even Jiren for you Jiren fans. So let's get this started, man. So how do you feel about Prime Moro all the way up to Moro 7.3, and like how did that really kind of mess up the scaling so far?
The thing about Prime Moro was the fact that Prime Moro was actually a good staple point as far as narratively, as far as his character in general. He was kind of like the mark of character progression from the Tournament Power and Broly arc, the way that it should be. Now, the reason why I say that is because what we know is the Tournament Power established that Goku is at least, if you don't think he's stronger than God of Destruction, he's at least God of Destruction level, right? All right, and we know that Jiren is stronger than his God of Destruction, so that would mean that Goku would be stronger than some gods, a god, whichever one you would know, he would be in God ranges, right? So then you go to Moro Prime Moro, who compares a stronger blue Goku and a blue evolution Vegeta, and says that in his prime, they will be insects compared to his power. And we do see later, after they all get stronger and Moro gets stronger over 2 months and they get stronger with their training, that blue Goku was less than a smudge of Prime Moro's power. Even though Prime Moro did get stronger, Blue Goku got stronger as well. So then he has to go Ultra Instinct Sign, which we know is at least God of Destruction level, as he has came over that wall that they had stated, as we stated. So since we know that, and it took for him to use his full power against him, and he says that he's transcended the gods. Well, what gods that we know they're at the top at that point in time is the gods of destruction. We know the angels don't matter, they'll count at that point because angels can like one-shot gods of destruction.
With a chop.
So, yeah, so you know, they're like supposed to be way above them. So he was be talking about the gods of destruction, or he could be whatever gods that he would know in general, or maybe Goku himself at that point. But as far as story and narrative progression wise, that makes sense. But then we go to Moro 7.3, which throws a wrench in everything, because if Prime Moro is supposed to be stronger than the gods of destruction, and UIS Goku is supposed to be God of Destruction level, and Moro 7.3 come in, and it kind of messes up everything because of the statements that's being said, you know, and Vegeta is able to damage him and he can't get hit by him, and then he absorbs everybody else's powers, he stacks it upon him, he has like different powers and stuff like Piccolo, Ultimate Gohan, Vegeta himself, stacked all on top of each other. And narratively, it kind of implies that he's still kind of weaker than like Beerus or something. You would think he would be like at the same level as the high God of Destruction, or maybe even farther beyond, you know, or even way further, even beyond that, like God of Destruction plus level or something like that. But as far as story wise, it doesn't go that way. It doesn't really go that way. It kind of throws a wrench. And even Jiren, you can argue Jiren is stronger than Moro 7.3 at that point. Like, it kind of messes up everything. And then you get the wonky statements of like, you know, Vegeta ain't never put his guard down or something like that.
That shit is whack.
He ain't never overanalyzed.
That's a lie.
His opponent. Like, this is, like, then Vegeta like goes back to like RF version of himself where he's just sitting there and not taking out. But like, you know, it just, all that whole thing just becomes generic. Even Moro 7.3 becomes generic because he doesn't act like Moro no more. He loses that character, and then his design is generic. So
dang,
Moro 7.3 in general is just like, why did it happen? Like, you just kind of mess up everything.
Like, for me, I like Moro 7.3's design. I know, I throw rocks at me, throw whatever you need to throw at me, but I don't stole me. Like, I'm one of the people who like perfected UI over UI signed. I don't know. I also like blue over God. Okay, whatever. I'm different.
I do too, though. I do too.
Sweet. So here's the thing. I can see your point, because you can argue with perfected UI, even in the Moro arc and the Tournament of Power, they're somewhere similar. And if you can go by that logic that maybe like them being on the same tier and how Perfected UI dominated Moro 7-3 and how he didn't dominate Jiren. How you can argue that Jiren kind of won because he outlasted Perfected UI, but you can still say UI was stronger. So you can make that argument, but the only thing I can counter is that statement Goku said after, you know, he dominated Moro 7-3 is that he's the toughest person that he's faced so far, including Jiren, including Broly, and we know Broly is canon to Dragon Ball Super manga at least. So Broly was at least somewhere, at least in Goku's mind, stronger than that Beerus at that time. So you can still make some arguments. At least I still feel Moro 7-3 is either on Jiren's level or slightly above, and you can say Perfected UI was just that much stronger. But I think narratively they're still trying to say Perfected UI in each form, at least in the manga, are on a similar level.
Right. And that's probably where most people go wrong at. There's not that much time that has factored into, you know, between those arcs. Like, it's not even been a whole year yet. So people don't really factor that in. It's not going to be like a tremendous boost. In fact, kind of for the Broly movie, it kind of implies that it hasn't even been a month since the Tournament of Power, if you want me to be completely honest. So
yeah.
That's like a big thing, and I think people should factor that in.
Okay, like that is true. And also you can also say that the Moro arc literally starts right after Goku visits Broly when he does that teleportation with instant transmission. You can say he starts literally right after. It just really depends how much you factor in that quote unquote like hyperbolic time chamber training with Beerus, and how much you factor in like how powerful UI sign is compared to the old UI sign, and how much how much your mind kind of figures out like how much of the multiplier for Perfected UI. So yeah, it really brings in a hole there, especially how it seems like through Beerus's discussion after the Moro arc and further on, that seems like Beerus has been like training, because he's talking about how God Destructions are like I don't know, like limitless in that area, kind of like Saiyans, how they talk about themselves, and like with Vegeta's latest transformation being unbounded, stuff like that.
Right.
So like that might actually like get into the factor, like it might make sense if Beerus is still stronger than Perfected UI, because if we're going by the logic, if and only if God Destruction Vegeta is stronger than Perfected UI and Beerus is stronger than Perfected UI now, it's because the God Destruction, at least Beerus himself, has still been training.
Right. And that's only, even if he has still been training, Goku has still been training as well. So it could be in a case of Goku at his fully realized UI with his countless of hours of training to make his precision, you know, even better with Whis. It could be at Goku at his 100%, they're not stronger. But as time goes on and he starts to deteriorate in the form, maybe they don't ever deteriorate and they end up being stronger. So it is like a way to kind of balance out the three, because they all are supposed to be rivals to one another until Goku probably just take off.
Yeah.
That could be a thing, you know, and until he perfects UI normally, they are always going to be relevant. They're going to be relevant regardless because of story, but
right.
In terms of power, that could be something that they're going towards as well. Now, if they're just straight out stronger, which I really don't think it is, I think they'll probably be stronger in the aspect like destructive power. Like, I think they're kind of starting to emphasize subcategories of overall battle power. Right. And like, they're better than Goku in certain areas, and Goku would be better than them in certain areas. But as far as like if they were to fight against one another, they probably could edge out Goku as if he's off guard. If he don't take it serious, they probably could edge out Goku. And if he take it serious, I don't see either one of them beating Goku. I don't see either one of them touching Goku. Heck, I didn't really even see Granola to actually come out as the winner. Granola had to be opportunistic. He didn't even really see himself, you know, he didn't even want to take the chance. He wanted to save stamina, and then he wanted to take opportunity for it to deteriorate and hit him off guard. So,
yep. Well, yeah,
there's a lot of plot in here.
Yeah, like even with full context of like, we don't even really know how much power Granola used in that clone. It could have been 50%. It could have been something else. We just know that.
Wait, we actually do.
We do?
The official site said it was only a fraction of his power.
Fraction, so like 25%?
Yeah, whatever a fraction you think. I don't. It all depends on whatever you think a fraction is. It could be from 0 to, 25%. So it's whatever range that is.
Yeah, but like my main thing is we just know for a definite that Goku completely dominated that. Like, Granola wasn't touching him at all. So we don't really know how like Granola would go against Goku if he actually had his guard up, his precision up, etc., etc.
Yeah, and that's another thing with that. I know people want to say, oh, well, that Blue Evolution Vegeta would just be stronger than UI or whatever. Or, that just shows the massive gap that Granola is stronger than UI. No, because Blue is not even a fraction of freaking UI's power. We just established and told y'all that Blue Goku wasn't even a smudge of Moro's power. But when he went UIS, he had to force Moro to go full power.
Right.
So, and UI stomps UIS. So the gap, this is like a fully realized UI. He doesn't even go to UIS now. So the gap and range that Goku can like suppress his power and lower like in between there without using his 100% in UI is kind of huge. So, and him no different, the Granola clone, more than likely he wasn't even trying.
Yeah, he really wasn't, because he was just using telekinesis, or I guess Godbind, wherever you interpret it, and just was using like soaring fist, knocking him around. Like, he wasn't really giving it his all. Like, it was not one Kamea hit. Like, because usually when Goku gets his trying, he used a Kamehameha wave in some fashion. So,
he didn't even really want to fight at that point.
Yeah, he kept on telling him like you can train. Yeah, he kept on saying like, yo, let's just train. You're not a bad guy. And Goku proceeds to get shot. yeah, man, you're not a good guy. Every time Goku gives a speech, they shoot him like Malcolm X, man. Like, just every time.
Yeah, and people also they should realize that UI isn't the thing that's wrong. Goku is the reason why UI is kind of not as good as it should be. As he said, his training lacked. He lacked in his training, so therefore it kind of makes UI lack because of who he is. So his nature comes into play with UI. So that's the thing. And I know people be like, well, Granola blitzed him. Well, he fooled Goku and he fooled Vegeta too. I don't know why nobody ever understand that he fooled Vegeta as well. Vegeta didn't know where he was at. Vegeta didn't know Granola had already disappeared and was in front of Goku.
No one knew. No one knew. Vegeta's only talking shit because he figured it out later. Clones and fusion won't work on me. Really? You know now.
It worked on him. Technically it did work on him because he did not know until afterwards. Until after everything happened. That's when he figured it out. I mean, and he probably would have been using Force Spirit Fission fighting the clone anyway, and it might have dissipated the clone. But regardless, it worked on him.
Yeah.
So Vegeta saying that, I mean, that's like, well, Vegeta, it just worked on you.
And remind you guys, PridedWaif is a Vegeta fan. I'd be surprised too when I learned he actually is like a big Vegeta fan like that. I am too, but like he prefers Vegeta. So it's just kind of weird where like even the narrative is telling him like, bro, what are you doing, Vegeta? What are you saying right now?
I don't understand why they be doing this to Vegeta. I just don't. And it be making me mad, but I'd be like, bro, it's just at this point, you gotta accept what they're going with this.
Like, I kind of like what they're doing. It's just certain things Vegeta be saying. You can just, if you don't have just the feeling to be objective, you just be believing whatever Vegeta's saying. And some of the things he's saying just ain't true. But okay, here's the things I gotta talk about. Two things. So, what if we get this information in the next chapter that Vegeta just blatantly strong to perfect the UI in Granola and Beerus hasn't been training? Do you feel like everything we've learned about Jiren and all that stuff, is that just thrown out the window?
Nah. It just mean that they just was comparing them to Vermont, and the strongest god of destruction, Beerus, and Catella might just be like in a different world of power. Or they just stealth buff them. They just stealth buff them for manga. And they're just gonna keep it separate. In anime, yeah, he surpassed, but in manga, he's not surpassed.
Yeah, we talked about this, like, because we do know that the anime and manga are different. Like, literally in the manga, Gohan is able to compete with like Super Saiyan Kefla, but then the anime we got Super Saiyan 2 Kefla being able to compete with UI Sign 2 Goku and stuff. So there is different levels. Literally, a majority of the statements about God Destruction powers actually do come from the anime, or at least Toei in some fashion. On the manga, you got Vegeto's statement, you got the Broly movie stuff. So there's a little bit more confirmation in that, but in the anime it's a lot more. So you can still make the argument, at least in the anime, it's a little bit more definite that Perfected UI and Jiren are stronger than did Beerus in that area. I still argue Vegeta, but I know that's very debatable. I don't want to get shot for that one. But in the manga, it's a little bit more like the fusions you can argue are stronger than if Perfected UI is weaker than Beerus. You can argue that the fusions are a bigger multiplier, and with the blue forms are stronger than Perfected UI.
Yeah, and really, and to be like to hone this in a little further, really the only definite statement kind of that we have in terms of comparison to Beerus is Vegito.
Yeah, yeah.
Funny enough, is Vegito. Everybody else is like shrouded in mystery. Now Gogeta Blue is like a automatic. We should already know. That's like everybody should already know Gogeta Blue is like super high up there. He should be like.
Well, people be downplaying him now though, because remember they said that Goku and Vegeta are the strongest in the universe and everything. So people are kind of downplaying Broly ever since that statement.
Oh well, I mean, I do think Broly's kind of farther now, but,
but
it's just more so for Gogeta though. It still would suggest that Gogeta Blue is just in a completely different world of power than it was from Broly. Even when you look at Toyotaro's version, Gogeta Blue didn't have no marks or anything. Like,
yeah,
it was like a beatdown on Broly. Broly was like completely messed up.
Right.
So it could just be like a super, like Toyotaro could just be a fanboy of the fusion.
Yeah.
Could be it. Because in anime, fusion is kind of implied to be up under UI.
Yeah.
And UI is supposed to be the trump card now. So it could be a thing, or they could have them equal. And Goku just sucked. Goku is just Goku. Goku is the reason why fans think it's trash.
Pain. Goku fan, pain. Shots. How I interpreted it was that blue fusions were stronger than UI sign. If we're on the same arc, you know, like if we're on the same arc, like I feel like Perfected UI is stronger than a blue fusion, but UI sign was weaker than the blue fusion. But if we're going by different arcs, then I can still say, in my mind, I don't know, I could be wrong, I think Gogeta in the Broly movie is stronger than Perfected UI in the term of the power. But if they was in the same arc, Perfected UI would be stronger. That's how I interpret it.
Yeah, that's kind of how I interpret it too. Yeah.
Okay, then so pretty much we got to this point that we think that Moro kind of, I don't know, kind of killed it in terms of that whole, we're trying to figure out where is UI and current Goku Vegeta in terms of the God Destructions. And Beerus been killed the Power Scale, in my personal opinion. This cat hasn't done nothing. It still gets, like, this is the most protected character in Dragon Ball history, bro. Yet we see this man get chopped left and right by Whis, and like his brother get chopped by Vados. Like now I think maybe Beerus can take a chop now. Like I feel like Beerus could probably like actually hang with Whis now if we're going by what the story's telling us. Like I don't know, man. Like,
it's really weird. It is really weird. Unless they buffing Whis and the Angels too, I think it's even weirder when they use Maris. Maris is supposed to be the benchmark in the Moro arc. Goku was supposed to surpass by the end or current of this arc. He was supposed to surpass Beerus, but it's like the dialogue and everything in the narrative suggests Goku didn't. Maybe now.
I think he did. Like I know we disagree in that, but I think he did just based on how Beerus is saying, like, you know, you'll be unstoppable, and just how, I don't know, like it just seems like Goku did, but they can always change it later.
I'm like 50-50 on it, because where I sit at right now is Beerus might be a fodder angel.
Man, I remember I made a whole video talking about this.
Beerus might just be a fodder angel. He might be the starting point for angel tier, but he might be the fodder angel out of the angels. And he's just like the bottom. So it gives Beerus people, or people that, you know, for Beerus or Vegeta and everybody else, it gives them a reason to argue that, yes, these characters are probably stronger than Goku. Even if Goku is stronger than Beerus, that just means that Beerus is under them. You know, and I don't really like that, because
I don't either.
Angel that we
I don't like it.
is weaker than a freaking God of Destruction. Heck, they have UI.
They're bored with Perfected UI. Power. They're bored with it.
Exactly. It's like, well, we do know they can get stronger though. Moro suggests that. But the thing is, Daishinkan has him as his personal training, and he's not training for power or nothing. He's training to learn the laws and the ways of the universe. That's it, to become a guide. So it suggests that he already has the level of power to be a guide angel over a god of destruction. He just needs to learn the different morals and not to interfere and stuff. You know, so it's really weird. It's like,
it's weird.
What the? And then you have the official site saying, "Oh, Beerus showed off the tremendous strength of an angel," and it's like, well, if Beerus can't beat Beerus, it ain't tremendous.
Like, but for real, like the way Beerus fought Moro, you can argue that, you know, Beerus didn't go all out because he wanted Goku to win for the mortals and whatnot. But Goku did a lot better against Moro 7-3. But you could say that, you know, he was fighting a nerf Moro 7-3 because he got his emerald cracked.
Yeah.
But just how they portrayed it, it looked like Goku surpassed Beerus. I don't know. I could be wrong. You know, I'm a Goku fan, the bias, but I don't know.
I understand because you have what I use is Moro himself. Moro wanted to continue to fight Beerus even after getting hit by full power mirrors or angel power mirrors, whatever, angel state mirror, whatever you want to call them. He wanted to continue.
Did he cry like a
when
bitch?
When he seen Goku transform, he turned into exactly what you just said. He turned into a little bitty bee.
he literally was scared out of his mind. Then when he got beat up, he was begging for his life. Like, come on, am I wilding for thinking
he got beat by a tap?
Yeah, bro, Nick broke his whole arm. I'm just like, come on, bro. Like
it don't. So it suggests that Goku surpassed that benchmark and level, and then it also suggests that Moro needed a power in order to combat against that, which he was trying to get UI, but he ended up getting Beerus powers along with it because, you know, it's passive.
Yeah.
So he got the angel powers, and we know 7-3 ability stacks, you know, the power, and it comes back to exponentially stronger. So technically, Moro would be the stronger. He would be stronger than Beerus.
Yeah, he
but
has to.
As Goku said, you can't wield the power because you've never trained a day in your life.
Well,
so your body won't be able to do anything with it.
It really depends how we look at Dragon Ball's like fighting, because we know like 1 minute in Dragon Ball or like, you know, how they fighting could be different, just how they display it. So you could say like maybe Angel Moro's time limit is longer than what we saw it in their fight. We don't really know there, but I guess to end this video, man, like, so how would you feel, man? If just everything we discussed, like hopefully Beerus has been training or something like that. What if it's just all retcon, man? And all this work we're putting in, like learning like the statements and overall the scaling just doesn't matter. And our only hope is like the anime scaling.
In general, I don't think anything was ever concrete to begin with.
Yeah.
That's when I can argue for Beerus.
Yeah.
I never really think anything is concrete. It's just from what it suggests, from what people have said, that Toriyama was the one who did the background and lore and stuff for Jiren, and then we do see the God of Destruction Battle Royale, and then we do see, you know, like Jiren supposed to like been that level to surpass them, and then we get Broly come in, he gets compared to God of Destruction, which they said Toriyama is the one who wrote everything. So it's like, what is being said is, I don't think anything is going to be retconned. I actually think how it's going to go is just suggest that the characters just suck. They might, even if they're stronger, it suggests that Beerus will probably still beat their ass because they just suck.
Again, man, I'm just tired of these Beerus and Vegeta fans bullying me, man, because I'm running out, man. I'm running out of ammo.
Another thing is, bro, you have to also use Granola.
Yeah.
Because if Granola if he's still truly the strongest, and it's coming in chapter, is this 75 or 75?
Yeah, the next chapter's gonna be 75.
Okay, so 75, as official site state, unprecedented destructive battle power.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Like, you know, it's supposed to be the never before seen level of destruction. So it means it's supposed to surpass, I guess, Beerus and Champa. Because that's the highest level of destruction that we've seen in the manga. So if it does go past there, at that point, people should realize you can argue Vegeta might be stronger than Beerus.
Ooh, that's spicy. That's pretty spicy.
I will argue. That is something I will argue, because first of all, I'm a Vegeta fan, so I'm going to argue. That's what I want. I mean, after all the ass whoopings that Vegeta has been getting, this is his time to. I don't care if he don't surpass Goku. At least he don't even have to surpass Beerus. At least be Beerus' equal or roughly on par. Like, he's not far away from him. Like, he's like right there. It's just Beerus is a better fighter or something, which wouldn't make sense either, because technically Vegeta should be the better fighter since he's able to achieve all of these powers and levels faster
short
than what
time
Beerus
period.
has been able to.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
it takes Beerus way longer. So
Hey man, that's spicy, man. Like that's spicy that Vegeta's because I know people like the idea that Goku's stronger than Beerus, but niggas do not like the idea
they don't like
Vegeta's
Vegeta.
stronger than Beerus.
I
Like
don't know what is up with that.
I don't know something about that. I think it's just because he has had a form that makes you feel like it, and the whole idea of perfecting UI was supposed to be above God Destruction. So it's like, why would Vegeta with just the same amount of power as Beerus be stronger than him? So I don't know. I would like it because I remember like you don't agree with me on this, but I felt like Vegeta, especially in the Moro arc after getting the Yard abilities, was like high tier God Destruction. If we're going by the logic that he's stronger than UI Sign at that time, I thought he was at least high tier God Destruction. So I knew he was weaker than Beerus, but I knew like maybe he's around that ballpark. After that ass whooping, I don't know anymore. Maybe he's only like mid or low God Destruction tier, but maybe after this transformation, I don't know. It just really depends on how they display perfected UI. Like if they're going by the logic that perfected UI just got hoed because it was storytelling, then okay, cool. Then like perfected UI stronger than Beerus, and then Vegeta is slightly stronger than Beerus. But if Beerus is stronger than UI Goku and Vegeta is somehow stronger than Beerus, I'm not gonna like that.
Hey, I'm not gonna like it, but I ain't gonna have a problem with it.
I know you're not, but narratively, I'm like, what about the angels, bro? Like, what about the angels?
But that's another thing though. Well, from what we know is the strongest fighters have UI. So that's another reason why I'm not really kind of tripping about it. It's just Goku. It's literally just Goku. It's just Goku's fighting nature. His
benevolent.
Nature in general.
He's benevolent.
He's too benevolent. He respects his opponents too much. He literally puts his guard down against humans, and bullets are able to affect him. A car is able to hit him off guard. Even though the car got crushed, it was able to hit him off guard. So people be like, oh, it just suggests that Granola is just faster than UI or whatever. No, it's just Goku. Goku is just retarded. That's why Vegeta calls him a moron.
Wait, to be fair, Granola does have a teleportation faster than instant transmission. So
that it does have that, but it still suggests that Goku, if he was on guard, he would have probably reacted to it.
Probably. Like it's weird because I always understand that Goku has benevolence and he cares, but it was still hard for me to swallow the whole like try to give Moro a chance because that dude was like pure evil. Like granted, he gave Kid Buu a chance. He gave Kid Buu a chance.
Everybody a chance.
Yeah. It's just that one. I feel like Moro was even more evil than Frieza. Like it was just something about Moro just screamed, "Don't get like." Even Frieza seemed nicer than Moro. Like that's how weird it was.
Yeah,
like
because he already had sensed his ki and stuff, and he was like, "Oh, it's like sinful. It's like evil. He just eats souls and stuff. You know, it's like no point in return." And Moro, I already knew Moro wasn't gonna, walk off with her.
He just couldn't
want to kill him.
Nah, like even with Frieza, you can even give him a redeeming factor. He did the whole like, I'll cross my arms. Like everyone had like a joyful joke with him. Like Kid Buu had it, Perfect Cell even had it, other villains had it. Moro just seemed like I'm just evil player. Like he just had that feeling. And Broly and Granola, you could tell they're not bad guys, but
yeah, they just it's a mindset thing. They're just misguided.
Yeah, so yeah, there we have it, guys. So if we've made the conclusion that Moro, at least in storytelling, really messed up that whole power scaling a bit of just how we're looking at it, we can even argue that Jiren was stronger than Moro 7-3. Jiren fanboys be happy, I guess. So if Beerus ends up being stronger than perfected UI because of Vegeta or something, then we can just make it down that, you know what, Jiren was stronger than Belmont. But if I'm telling you right now, and PridedWaif knows this, if Vegeta loses, and I know a bunch of content creators, I'll tell you, content creators are all wilding, I don't care. I'm going to get out my rant. Like, I'm telling you, bro, people been talking mad spicy to me. I've had to get rid of some people because they coming for me.
Man, I'm trying to. I'm gonna just tell y'all this. If y'all are Vegeta fans too, Toyo is a troll. What y'all don't understand, last arc and more arc, somebody on Twitter, he actually responded to this person too, and got clowned by another writer, by another author writer. Matter of fact, it was Beastar's writer. The girl, it's a chick that whoever writes Beastars, and they clowned this person because they had said, please give Vegeta the win. I seen it on Twitter. I sent it to MJXTV, sent it to a good friend of mine. Sent that to him, and he started laughing. I said, bruh, Toyo is a troll. And guess what exactly happened? Vegeta got that ass. Right. And it was just like, wow. I'm just telling y'all, Toyo is a troll. Toriyama is a troll too, but Toriyama always been on this. Toriyama don't even like Vegeta for real. He's always been like
Hey, look,
He just don't understand why people don't even like Vegeta.
here's the thing about Vegeta. People be forgetting that Vegeta has a lot more W's than Goku. They're just like mini boss W's. Like it's not like Vegeta is like a straight out loser out here, right? It's just we need to understand the narrative. But like, hey man, I'm gonna enjoy it regardless. Like, I want Vegeta to do good. I'm not blindly out here hoping for Vegeta to lose. It's just y'all fans, man. Y'all be making it really easy for me to make fun of y'all. Like y'all be making it really easy for me. So man, everyone, please go check out PridedWaif's channel. He does great content. He actually some of his opinions actually made me rethink my own. Again, I'm kind of hard-headed, but I really like listening to people's opinions, and he has a great opinion. He gives his opinions with like facts, feats, and etc. He has his video inspired me when he was talking about the possible rematch between UI Goku and Granola. Definitely check out that video. And overall, man, just give him a chance, man. Like I know y'all don't be trying to give channels a chance, but I'm telling you, give his channel a chance, man.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you for having me on. I really appreciate that.
No problem, man. Like I've been a lone wolf, and for a long time, I'm trying my best to reach out to more people. So I'd love to make more videos with you in the future.
Yeah, same.
Okay, guys. So SonTj out. Peace. Love you all.